Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Hope walks in on Carter and Daphne, and Finn confronts Poppy with the paternity test. Tuesday, February 4, 2025. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Steffi and Zen discuss the coup. Luna's sure she's not Tom Starr's daughter, and Poppy tells Lee that Luna's missing. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, Soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. In his office, Finn reels, "Luna's not my cousin, she's my daughter. Luna's my daughter." He decides this can't be right and pulls out another kit to do another test. At Bill's place, Luna makes a smoothie, adjusts her ankle monitor, looks at a photo of Will, and then peers out the window. She grins, "If only you knew where I was, Mom." Looking smug and very satisfied with herself, Luna perches on the sofa and eats bonbons. At Il Giardino, Poppy flashes to telling Finn he's not Luna's father. Lee walks in and tells her sister she was happy to make time for her. She didn't expect to hear from her after her accusations the other day. She goes over how horribly wrong she was to think what she did of her. Poppy sighs. Lee asks why she wanted to see her. She senses she's not herself. Poppy tells Lee that something's happened. Luna is missing. Lee gawps. Luna's missing. Poppy says yes, and she doesn't know where she is. In the design office at Forrester, Hope thinks Steffi is up to something. Steffi thinks power has made her paranoid. Hope has been burned by her before and vows, "Never again, Steffi." She informs Steffi she's no longer her scapegoat. Steffi muses, "Yeah, thanks to Carter, your partner in crime." Hope says Forrester couldn't be in better hands. It's being run differently now, including Steffi. She acknowledges she's made many positive contributions to the company over the years. Steffi notes that was before one of the most underhanded business coups imaginable. Zend comes in and they compliment his latest designs. Hope is sure the company will thrive with Zend's talent and Carter's leadership. In the main office, Carter tells Daphne her scent makes it hard to concentrate. She slings her arm over his shoulder and says, "Almost like you could lose yourself." He laughs nervously. Daphne keeps flirting with and pawing Carter as he stammers on and then asks her what brought her to Forrester's door. Daphne Rose never explains herself. She had a reason, but she'll never tell. Carter asks if they should launch with 1 or 2 fragrances. Daphne pulls out 2 scents, sprays them behind her ears and tells Carter, "Choose." At Bill's place, Luna tells herself she'll never believe Tom Starr is her father. She stands in a mirror and wonders, "Who is my father?" In Finn's office, the alarm sounds to indicate the second paternity test is ready. Finn picks it up, reads it and looks off into space. In the design office, Hope has to get going but thanks Zend again for going above and beyond. Steffi tells him, "You're invaluable to all of us." He grins. Hope leaves and Steffi tells her cousin he came in at the right time. Hope's so sure that this is how Forrester is going to be from here on out. Zend knows Carter won't be in charge much longer, not if Steffi has anything to say about it. Steffi wishes it hadn't come to this. They agree this requires drastic measures. Steffi had to do something, she can't wait for Justin and his team to work their angle. That could take months and may not even be possible. She complains that Hope is becoming more arrogant by the minute. Zend notes Brooke and Carter are becoming more entrenched by the day. Steffi tells her cousin his intel is invaluable. All she'll say about her plan is that if things go as planned, they'll never smell what's coming. In the main office, Daphne tells Carter she belongs to him now, because of their partnership. She wants to know his preference. Carter leans in, brushes her hair aside and breathes in the scent she sprayed on behind her ear. Just then, Hope walks in. She asks what's going on. Carter stammers that he was trying to choose a scent to start the launch with. At Il Giardino, Lee is outraged that no one will tell Poppy where Luna has been moved to. She offers to go down there, but Poppy doesn't think anyone will give her information. Lee notes that she's her niece. Poppy gets a call and steps away. It's Finn, who demands to see her at his office. She tries to put him off, but he insists. Poppy agrees and goes back to make her excuses to Lee, who once again tells her how sorry she is for thinking she could hurt her and her family in such a terrible way. In his office, Finn stews and waits for Poppy. When she arrives, he tells her to lock the door. She wants to speak first. She knows he has a lot of questions now that they know Tom is not Luna's father. It made them think about that night all those years ago that they shared, but they have nothing to be ashamed about. There's no biological connection between them and they cared about each other. What they shared was beautiful and special. She hopes he remembers it that way too. She rambles that they've moved on and lists off his accomplishments. She has a chance to patch things up with her sister, and Finn. That can't happen if you keep on thinking about that night and asking questions. No one can find out about that. Finn opens his drawer and pulls out the test stick. She already told him there's no way Luna is his daughter. Finn asks, "Don't you want to know what it says?" He reminds her she promised to be honest and truthful. He trusted her. He never regretted that night. Until, you lied to me. Luna isn't my cousin. She's my daughter. Poppy sobs. Finn restates, Luna is my daughter. I'm the father. Hope walks in on Carter and Daphne. It had been a long, heavy evening, the kind that makes time feel like it's stretching between every moment. Carter leaned back against the railing of his apartment, gazing out over the city lights. The day had drained him, but in a way that left room for an unexpected relief. Daphne was sitting on the couch, her laughter filling the space, soothing the remnants of his exhaustion. She always had that effect on him. It didn't matter how difficult things got when she was around, there was a warmth, a reprieve. She was telling him about her day, but he was barely listening. Instead, his thoughts kept circling back to how much she'd become a part of his life in such a short time. It was almost unreal. But, of course, nothing in his life had ever come easily or expected. This her was as real as it got. You're quiet, Daphne said, glancing at him. What's on your mind? Carter smiled faintly. Just thinking about how lucky I am, I guess. She raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Oh, really lucky? What's changed? Everything, he said softly, walking toward her. He reached out and took her hand. His fingers lingered on hers. You've changed everything. Her eyes softened, a mixture of surprise and something else, something deeper crossing her features. It was the look of someone who had finally found a piece they hadn't known they were missing. Her hand gripped his, as if afraid that if she let go, it might all disappear. I'm glad I could be here for you, Carter. I really am, Daphne whispered, her voice full of sincerity. But, is it wrong that I'm scared? I've never been in a relationship where I felt this way, where I felt like this could be real. The vulnerability in her voice pulled at his heart. Carter knelt in front of her, his eyes locking with hers. No. Not wrong. It's exactly how I feel. And that's why I don't want to lose us. Before she could respond, the sound of a door opening echoed through the room. Carter's eyes flicked toward the door, tension springing through his body as he recognized the voice. "Carter, are you home?" Hope's voice, soft yet insistent, cut through the calm, and Carter's heart sank. Daphne stiffened at the sound of the voice, her hand pulling slightly away from his. "Is that?" Carter's mind raced. Hope hadn't been part of his life for months now. He had tried so hard to move on, to cut ties with the past. And now, here she was, standing on the threshold, her presence pulling at something inside him that he didn't want to acknowledge. He stood, walking quickly toward the door. "Hope, this isn't a good time. I need to talk to you," she said, pushing the door open further, her face softening slightly when her eyes found Daphne. "I didn't realize you had company." Carter's jaw tightened, but he forced himself to remain calm. "Hope, we're in the middle of something. Can we do this later?" But Hope stepped forward, her gaze never leaving Daphne. "No, I need answers. This can't wait." Daphne stood now, her posture defensive, her eyes scanning Hope's expression. "I don't think we have anything to talk about, Hope," she said quietly, but with a firmness that Carter admired. "I think we do," Hope replied, crossing her arms, her eyes still fixed on Daphne. "I'm not just going to sit by and watch someone I once cared about, someone who's been in my life for years, move on like it doesn't matter." Carter glanced at Daphne, who held her ground, her eyes filled with silent strength. She was not backing down. And neither was he. This moment, this fight wasn't just about Hope. It was about him, about what he truly wanted. "I think," Daphne said, stepping forward, "you should leave. I'm not here to fight for something that doesn't belong to me, but I want to stand by and let you make this harder for either of us. He chose me. And if that's not clear yet, then I'm not sure what will be." Carter moved beside Daphne, placing a hand on her shoulder, a gesture of silent reassurance. Hope, for the first time, seemed to deflate a little. She looked at Carter, her lips trembling as if trying to hold back something she couldn't say. But no words came, just silence. "I'm sorry, Hope," Carter said quietly, turning toward the door. "I need to be honest with you, and maybe it's something I should have said months ago. But it's over. I'm with Daphne now." And with that, Hope finally seemed to accept it. She left without another word, her steps slow, resigned. Daphne turned to him, her expression filled with both relief and uncertainty. "Is it really over?" "Yeah," Carter said, pulling her into his arms. "It is." Finn confronts Poppy with the paternity test. The sun had just begun to dip below the horizon, casting a soft orange glow through the windows of Finn's office. The air in the room felt thick with tension as Finn paced back and forth, his hands clenched into fists. He had been holding on to this for days, every thought revolving around the piece of paper he had locked in his drawer, the paternity test. Poppy had known for months what he was planning. She had seen the change in him, the distance growing between them, the moments where his gaze would wander, lost in thought. She knew what was coming, but she hadn't expected him to confront her so soon. Finn's sharp knock on the door interrupted her as she sat at her desk, going through papers she didn't really see. She had felt the storm coming, but she hadn't expected it to arrive so quickly. "Come in," Poppy said, her voice steady, though she could feel her heart beginning to race. Finn walked in, holding the small envelope in his hand. He didn't sit. He didn't need to. His presence was enough to fill the space with an unspoken accusation. "You've been hiding something from me, Poppy," Finn's voice was low but intense, his eyes locked onto hers, unblinking. Poppy swallowed hard, trying to keep her composure. "What are you talking about?" He tossed the envelope onto the desk in front of her, watching her carefully as she picked it up. Her hands trembled, but she quickly steadied herself before looking at the contents. The paternity test. The proof that it wasn't his child. "How long were you planning on keeping this from me?" Finn's voice was a mix of hurt and fury, though he kept his tone controlled. Poppy's eyes flicked between the paper and his face. She could feel her defenses crumbling, but she refused to let them show. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she began, her voice faltering. "I didn't plan for it to go this way." "You never planned for anything, Poppy," Finn spat, pacing again. "You never plan, but you always make choices for both of us, don't you? You couldn't even be honest with me about something as important as this." Tears stung the corners of her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. "I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to lose you. Do you understand what this means?" Finn shot back, his voice cracking. "You've been living a lie, and all this time, I thought it was mine. I was ready to raise that child, our child, and you never once told me it wasn't." "I didn't want you to find out this way," Poppy whispered. I thought if I could fix things, maybe it wouldn't matter." Finn's heart felt like it had shattered. The betrayal, the lies, it all seemed too much. But still, he couldn't deny the lingering love that remained, despite everything. "It matters, Poppy. It matters more than you know." Her eyes filled with regret. "I'm so sorry, Finn. I never meant to hurt you." "Then why did you, Poppy? Why didn't you trust me?" The room was silent for a long time after that, the weight of his words hanging heavily in the air. Neither of them knew where to go from here.